15th January 2021. My name is Kwame Owusu, so welcome to Good Morning Africa show live on your number one station, Pan-African Television. I'm super excited to be back on the screens today as well. Make sure that you join in a conversation with your messages via our text number, which is 0260846539. And we also stream on our Facebook page, which is Pan-African Television. We're also streaming live on our YouTube handle, which is Pan-African Television. So you can go there, comment, leave a comment underneath the video. Or on Facebook, you can leave a comment underneath the stream. And we'll get the opportunity to see all your messages and read them. Let me apologize for yesterday. Yesterday, I think we forgot to charge the WhatsApp phone. So it went off at some point. That's why I couldn't read as many messages as possible. But this morning, I'll try and read as many messages as possible. I'm sure you've seen that I'm in my nose mask. You would very rarely see me on, wearing nose mask, but I have to because it appears coronavirus is really, really devastating at the moment, and is, the new strain is really one that must send some shiver down your spine. It's not a joke at all. And so I want to encourage all of us to mask up before you leave your homes. If you're entering into any public place, make sure you wear a nose mask. I'm not saying that the nose mask alone is going to save you, because we know of instances where people who normally wear their nose masks have died out of COVID-19. But at least it will save you a little bit. And so it's also part of the precautionary measures that you need. So one, you need to wear your nose mask. Two, you need to use your hand sanitizers. You need to physically or socially distance yourselves from people when you are engaging in any conversation whatsoever. You need to also ensure that you wash your hands intermittently, whenever you get the opportunity to, just wash your hands. And be safe out there, please. This is not just for satisfying the president or anybody. You just have to protect yourself. You're not doing this for anybody, So make sure you protect yourselves at all times. At all times. It's very, very important. The hospitals are being overwhelmed by the magnitude of cases that are being reported daily. And they appear not to have any idea as to how to deal with this, this situation. I can say that perhaps maybe we failed, we failed because maybe we didn't prepare so much. When the new strain started in other countries, we should have created conditions will enable us at least curb it a little bit, but we just sat down, engaged ourselves in all manner of politics, allowed people to, allowed crowds to form, and also allowed people to, mingle anyhow without observing all the protocols, etc. It's quite unfortunate and very, very disheartening that Kojo Nkrumah, who is supposed to know and act better and communicate better, is telling us that there is no scientific evidence to back the claim that the political campaigns are part of the reasons why coronavirus is on the upsurge. It's really very naive for anybody to think that. Obviously, one of the reasons why coronavirus can spread easily is when people, coalesce, when people mingle, when people are together, when crowds are formed. So it only stands to reason that perhaps we let down our guards, and this is why we're here. But for those of us who are ardent viewers of Pan-African Television, and for every single Ghanaian out there, I want to respectfully plead with you that you try to wear your nose mask at all times. It's not an easy thing anymore. It's not a joke anymore. I know that we have played with coronavirus for some time now. People actually even say that, this one is not a virus for the poor, it's a virus for the rich. My brother, stop that talk. You can't tell. May I tell you, rich people are dying, poor people are dying, everybody is dying. So please, make sure that you mask up and you protect yourselves. We need you alive to watch Pan-African Television. This morning, we're going to be looking at these issues. Nigerian Army regains control of military base. This story has been captured. It's an African story captured by the Daily Graphic newspaper. 7 CSO's petition speaker called for probe into military of parliament and 2020 election killings. That's on the front page of the Insight newspaper. As Supreme Court begins election petition hearing today, Mahama's legal team cries out The National Enquirer. National Security Boss dies while undergoing COVID treatment. Daily Post reported this one. Students return to school after 10 months. That's also captured by the Daily Graphic newspaper. Yesterday, if you watch Pan-African News, you'd realize that we hit the streets, to find out from the pupils and from the students who are going back to school as to how they are feeling. Are they excited about it? Are they not excited about it? It appears that generally people are not really excited about it. I mean, most parents are still afraid of sending their ones back to school. My child is still at home. Charlie. Anyway, so my panelists here, my panelists are here seated. I have Saka Salia with us. Saka, good morning to you. I love what you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
It's really nice. I love it. And you look very good as well. Gabriela Tete is also here seated. Gabi, good morning. I trust you are well. For the first time, I'm wearing nose mask. Can you hear me? My voice is not muffled. You can hear.
It's like tutored, but we can still hear.
Oh, Charlie, probably. And Soprano Sapon Sylvester is also here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Saka is also prevented. He's actually.
Saka is using vitamin C. Charlie. Enemies necessary. The Bible says the violent taken by force, right? And then is it Thomas Hobbes? He says survival of the fittest. And then Money also says survival of the fittest of the fittest.
I think people should also consider seriously chewing Michigoro.
Michigoro is good. Michigoro.
Thank you.
Michigoro. You know Michigoro, right?
Yeah, bitter cola.
I love it. And it's very nice. It's healthy too, so it cleanses your system and all of that. I think at this point, anything that can at least not prevent it, but at least boost your immune system is what we need. Right. So guys, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Gabi.
Yes.
How have you been?
I'm fine.
So you didn't miss us,
Oh, I missed you, but I was always watching you. So even if I missed you, I still see you.
Yeah, always. Where did you watch me? Where?
I watched you, I think 3 times during the week last week. No, there was.
You see now?
It's true.
You see now?
It's true.
Because Saka Salia sent me a message. He said, "My brother, where are you? You get corona."
But I checked up on you.
Yeah, you also did. Yes.
That in this country, if you don't see somebody 3 days, you have to verify.
The only person who failed to check up on me was Soprano. Yeah, the Rabbi Pratt is dead.
I went here.
No, they want to sell it.
Yeah, this one was my
this business. When they sell Pratt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She had her birthday.
And then you master corona. Na Pratt now lose so ni hono obi keke. So do you. Omo pictures wo nyina mu obi akeke.
This guy is on top banker.
Yeah. Fidelity Bank.
Yeah, Fidelity. He's a serious guy.
But you don't know.
He's a member of the Ghana Bankers Association.
I'm a top shatter.
I just say.
The corona na just onum sikani onum heni.
Even the CEO of Chocho Industries is also there.
I'm told. The CEO of Chocho Industries is also there.
Yeah. And then yesterday they said a teacher from GIS
is now selecting the big men. So when I say the big men, you understand what I mean?
Yeah. So it means that we the small men, we are okay.
You happy?
Kwame.
Their names hasn't been publicized yet.
The so-called big men are large.
So can you maybe use some of Britain and I apologize to the viewers?
I think the so-called people would go on retirement.
Matter of life and death, I beg you.
Our leaders, some of them who are close to 80 and 90, if only they were retired.
It's hot here, or it's me? I think it's hot.
It's kind of warm, yeah.
Yeah,
if
it's
only
warm.
some of our leaders were retired.
Please, can you put on some of the ACs? Yeah. Thank you.
Because you are not
put them on. Put all of the ACs on, please. Nigerian, this one is not on. The last one.
I hope you remember we are on air.
Yeah, I know. Nigerian army regains control of military base. You see, that's the difference between our morning show and the rest. That is why now You know, the last time we were watching a certain TV station, and then behind the presenter was Nkrumah's this very same picture. So I'm thinking, why do they think Pan Africa is growing because of Nkrumah's picture? Oh dear Lord. Anyway,
No, but so that studio has more than Nkrumah's picture. They have a President Mahama's picture. They have a President Akufo-Addo's picture.
Which one?
They even have what's this woman? The woman who contested for the presidency.
No good.
That Bridget is there. The other one. Equiadonko.
Anyway.
They even have Equiadonko's picture.
Well, that's your problem. It is not the Nkrumah alone that is doing anything. Anyway, but Soprano, let me start with you.
Yes, sir.
Nigerian army regains control of military base.
Kwame, thank you so much, and I wish to say a good morning to viewers at home across the continent and those in China and Liberia, everywhere. Kwame, I also appreciate the opportunity, the invite to be here one more time. Good morning, Gabby. How are you? And Saka.
Yeah.
Kwame, you see, the first topic I've been seriously analyzed it since I arrived here this morning. Nigerian army regains control of military base. You see, I'm so disappointed in the Nigerian army. Over the past 5 years or so, this small little Boko Haram, you see, Nigerian army, the army of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the commander-in-chief, president of Nigeria, and his army, the Nigerian army. I'm so disappointed in the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army is so disappointing that they are letting Boko Haram sort of, hold on, whatever the strength of Boko Haram is, it is minuscule compared to the great Nigerian army, the Green Eagles.
It's not a conventional war.
Oh, that is why they should eviscerate, that's why they should be able to eviscerate these unconventional fighters. You understand? So to begin with, I'm just very disappointed in the Nigerian army. I think across Africa, let me remove this temporarily. I think across Africa, I'm drinking hot coffee.
Now that you're taking yours, let me put my own.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, I mean, how come that the whole Federal Army of Nigeria cannot handle little Boko Haram? For me, it seems to be a massive intelligence failure and leadership failure. There's no way the army generals in Nigeria can convince anybody in Africa that if the Nigerian army is really being run well, that they cannot shut down Boko Haram and Islamic State of West Africa. And it's not as if, they are being attacked and trying to repel it. These insurgents are able to take over and overtake the military barracks of the Nigerian armed forces. I mean, for Christ's sake, even Benin army, I don't think they will allow that to happen. Or Swaziland army, or Djibouti army. I'm talking about the little African countries. You understand? I don't even think that Boko Haram can be effective in South Sudan. So when I look at the performance of the Nigerian army, I feel very, 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 very sad. I'm disappointed in the Nigerian army. I want to use the opportunity to call on President Akufo-Addo to send some military advisors to Nigeria. Because what is happening, the performance of the Nigerian army is, in fact, with maximum respect, it's disgraceful. I'm shy for the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army has made me shy of them. They are a big disappointment. You understand? So this story keeps on coming over the past several weeks. We come here in the morning, and the Nigerian army is being trounced and smashed about, slapped like some small boy by Boko Haram and their friends. I'm very disappointed in the Nigerian army. Who is in charge of the Nigerian army at all, Saka? Maybe you could Google it and help us. I mean, this is a massive letdown. The Nigerian army is a big disappointment. I'm very disappointed in the Nigerian army. Probably the leadership should be fired. This is a massive disappointment.
What they know how to do is to cower people into submission during elections.
And bully them. I'm very disappointed.
But
you know,
they just dropped success.
where?
And you are disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, they trust success to
Nigerian army regain control.
Okay, so this point is that they should have even lost
the Federal Army of Nigeria. They lost some ragtag insurgent army who were not wearing boots. These people are holding AK-47s. The Nigerian army, they have, even if they want a Tomahawk cruise missile, they can get it. So what is their problem? Or are they afraid? Kwame, I think maybe they are afraid. Because if they are not afraid, so what I'm saying here in a nutshell is that I have some advice for the Nigerian army. Maybe they need help. So I want to help them. Because over the past several years, since Boko Haram showed up, you know, under I would say not supervision, but you know, within the view of the Nigerian armed forces that we used to admire so much and aspire to, the Nigerian army, that is the former Nigerian army, which was the Nigerian army that was able to do things, not today's Nigerian army that is being trounced and whipped, left slapped about by Boko Haram. I'm talking about the Nigerian army that went to Liberia, Monrovia, and brought sanity there. You know, the Nigerian army, the performance that they used to show to Africa and the world when General Sani Abacha was in control, and he was making sure that the Nigerian army was living up to expectations and was world class. But this current Nigerian army that is constantly being whipped and trounced and defeated by Boko Haram, I have some advice for them. We want to remind them that across Africa, they are the premier army, and they are a big disappointment to all of us. Under their, you know, their supervision, or for lack of a better description, 35,000 Nigerians have been killed by this ragtag Boko Haram, you know, Islamic army. And more than 2 million Nigerians have been displaced in Nigeria. And in the meantime, the Federal Republic of Nigeria continues to pay the monthly allowances and pay and stipend and everything. They've given the Nigerian army everything that they want. The Nigerian army is probably the most well-resourced army in Africa. And still, Boko Haram is treating them like small boys. As for the Nigerian army, they are a big disappointment. They are the most disappointing army in Africa in 2019. You understand? So I have some advice for the Nigerian army. They don't seem to be able to do the job. So my first advice to the Nigerian citizenry, and they might want to communicate it to the Nigerian army, is that they should form citizen volunteer groups and arm them in the area or areas under attack. You see, Kwame, what happens is, I remember during the days of the PNDC coup, when it came up at first, when I was a kid, there were volunteer groups in our neighborhoods, and they were armed, and they knew the people in the neighborhood. So when you were coming, they could say, oh, okay, this is Soprano. He lives in our area. Maybe they would even not ignore you. You wouldn't see that they were around. But if you were a stranger, they would accost you and try to determine what you are doing in the area. And if they can offer some assistance or offer some assistance, if you catch my meaning. You see, so I want to advise the Nigerian army, maybe the Nigerian parliament, because the Nigerian army is clearly not able to do this job. So the parliament of Nigeria might want to pass a law to arm citizens in the conflict areas so that they can defend themselves, because the Nigerian army is unable to defend the Nigerian people. This is a huge disappointment, a huge disappointment. If the president of Nigeria was my friend, I'll ask him to immediately fire the CDS in Nigeria. He's a disappointment, whoever the gentleman is that is leading the Nigerian army. He's disgracing the army by this show of gross incompetence, in my opinion. And then the second suggestion I have for the Nigerian Republic, because the Nigerian army there, Boko Haram is treating them like small boys on a school field. You see, so I won't talk to the Nigerian army again. I'll talk to the Nigerian people, because I know a lot of Nigerians, prestigious people, the Green Eagles, the leaders of Africa, the biggest economy in Africa, you know, rich people, millionaire country, Nigeria, oil millionaire country, and small little Boko Haram. The Nigerian army is not able to stop them. But if it was people in Saori West country, the oil delta, the Nigerian army would have gone and shot all those young boys. But you see, face to face with Boko Haram, who are also armed, the Nigerian army, according to the report in the Daily Graphic, Boko Haram has captured Nigerian army soldiers. Can you imagine? They have captured Nigerian army equipment. Can you imagine? I mean, which army is this? That is such a big disappointment.
Okay.
But I got to, I was giving advice. I'll learn. The second advice I'll give to Nigeria is the Nigerian army and the Nigerian people. The army, they are not doing their job. Let me talk to the Nigerian people. The second advice to the Nigerian parliament probably is to pick up the American habit of, authorizing bounty hunters. You see, the Nigerian army, for up to now, they were never able to catch the leader of the Boko Haram. However, in America, after the Civil War in America, okay, one of the ways the government used to check the recalcitrant people and criminals was, putting a bounty on you. If they put a bounty on the Boko Haram leaders, let's say $2 million, Kwame, you and I, if you can go and bring their head, dead or alive, we'll get it. If they do that, I can tell you that in 2 years, most of the leadership of Boko Haram, they will either be hiding in a hole all the time or they will be dead for reward money. So bounty hunters should be released. They should advertise to the whole world so that people from Russia, mercenaries, and retired soldiers from US and other such people will come into the area and they will eviscerate Boko Haram.
Thank you.
Because the Nigerian army, they can't do this job. But finally, one last thing, Kwame, and I'll land. You see, I wanted to appeal to President Akufo-Addo, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS right now, to hurriedly consider reconstituting an ECOMOG type force. You see, so that the military, West African military force will enter Nigeria. Because the Nigerian army, they are not able to do their job. So President Akufo-Addo should save Nigeria and Nigerians by sending some troops from Ghana and other West African countries to go and solve this small little problem in Nigeria that the Nigerian army, with all the oil and all the millions of money and the training and all the money, cannot solve. What a disappointing army this Nigeria army is. Who is the CDS in Nigeria at all? That is disgracing all of us in Africa. Because we have been going around telling our friends around the world that as for Nigeria, Nigeria is the bastion of our aspiration to be leaders in the world. And then look at the Nigerian army. Pathetic army. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. I couldn't help but laugh the way you ended this your submission. But I have some messages for you on Facebook.
But of course, Kwame, I'm all ears.
3010, I believe it's Nigerian. It says, Masa, Boko Haram, invisible enemy. You can't easily defeat people who are not afraid to die. And it's not a regular army. You can fight. You'll be there and talking anyhow. Pray that they shouldn't come to us in Ghana here. Because everything in Ghana is very poor. Bright says, the most credible TV station in Ghana now. Thumbs up, Pan-African TV. Or David says, what about Ghana? They are all asking you.
What about Ghana?
Tijani Amigo says, hey, this man can you power.
But Tijani, I'm telling the truth.
And then somebody went to respond to Tijani and say, yeah, because he doesn't know how bad it is. Alhaji Baba says, oh, but we have not. Okay, my brother from MPP, tell Ronaldo to deal with his vigilantes before you people can talk about Nigeria's army. Isa Yesu says, you think it's easy? Or talking too much will solve the problem? Oh my goodness. Toti Ted says, please, Pan-African TV, this your panelist is talking about something he has no knowledge of. Therefore, he should keep mute. This man, then he puts smiling faces. Ugu Hyacinth, I'm sure he's from Nigeria, says, Buhari, the Nigerian president, once said that attack on Boko Haram is attack on Muslims. Nigerian government and leadership need to be questioned on Boko Haram insurgency.
Okay.
Alhaji says, if you have any advice, give it to Nanado, not the Nigerian army. Charles Thompson says, it means the Nigerian army have a very weak intelligence network.
Yeah.
Tijani comes back again and says, even the little bad people we have in Ghana, safe, we couldn't fish them out, and you are here making muff. The next message will make all of you laugh. Tony Ten again says, if Akufo-Addo lies, let him try. They will even catch him. Oh, goodness. Fernati says, please, arming the community to form volunteer group is very, very dangerous. Maharaja Yaya says, please, what advice do you have for Ghanaian army? Toti Kanga says, this man is funny.
Toti is on me today.
Yeah, he's on you. He's on you. Etuji Ucha Jacob says, concrete artist, really? Toti is on you, pa. Somebody says, Yaya says, with your experience, I think you need to lead the Nigerian army, my brother. Damn, I would love to do that.
You love to do that.
Well, if they give me Nigeria.
Maria says, Akufo-Addo can't even solve his own problems. What a joke. Mohammed Abdul Razak says, what about your security in Ghana? You are talking about ours. Abdul Rahman says, hey, this man can Soprano, good advice. If only they will listen. Rufai sent in this one. Bros Kesma says, you are there talking rubbish. Who told you that the Nigerian army cannot defeat Boko Haram? If not for the unseen fingers of government officials. What is Boko Haram? Who are they?
Exactly. You know, precisely, who are they? If they give me Boko Haram and 100 soldiers, if they give me...
Hold on, Raphael Saint William says, the issue is not with the Nigerian army. The problem is with the government. Please, KOD, ask the CPP man, will he allow his brother in the army to go and die for this selfish leadership?
What question is that? He's a professional, army person.
Somebody's watching from Germany. The person says you are just cracking jokes. So go and advise Nanado first. Best man Harry says the Nigerian army never did anything good in Liberia. Ask them about Charles Taylor, what he did to them in a place called Bumi.
So is it the case that the Nigerian army is not up to scratch? Well,
if this message the person is sending is anything to go by, it means that Charlie.
But Kwame, you see that Nigeria...
Let's hear from you.
Well, one, I don't think it's our place to condemn another country's army. What are we even comparing that army with? In, I think, 2015, 2016, I was listening to one of these BBC programs, and there was a siege on a village with Boko Haram. This was about 3 years after they kidnapped the Chibok girls. And there was this deliberate strategy to get hold of and disarm Boko Haram. And in this particular news item, the Nigerian army had laid siege on the village that's this Boko Haram leader was at the time. And according to army, the one they said they had killed him, but in the actual event, the Nigerian army were angry because they were waiting for their commander to give the go-ahead to just disseminate the whole time because there were terrorists in there. And the commander was waiting for authorization from some big person who had to answer a phone call and just give the go-ahead. And apparently, that person that was supposed to be at the other end of the phone call, giving the go-ahead, kept saying, you hold on, till the guy escaped. 3 days later, the guy did another...
operation?
No operation. The one that he goes and films himself laughing and ridiculing the security people that you fail to do anything. Meanwhile, they had that guy in their grips. It was just a question of information flow from the top down, do something about this situation. But the problem really is that I think 2 weeks ago we were having a very similar conversation about terrorism within the sub-region. And it's not just Boko Haram. It's Boko Haram, it's ICW, this group that's responsible for attacking this base. ISWAP, yes. They are the ones responsible for attacking the military base that the Nigerian army now have to fight and reclaim back. So we have so many terrorist groups operating within the sub-region that as a region we have to find a solution to nip before it rather becomes a bigger challenge for us. If you look at the development space within our ECOWAS sub-region, gradually, we are making very good progress. As individual countries, there are some countries that have fared much, much better than others. But I think that generally as a bloc, we are rather making much more progress than we've had in the past 10, 15, 20 years. And that's also, as much as it brings resources, prosperity and wealth to people, it also attracts a certain form of deviancy and negativity. And that is what we are seeing as elements breeding as terrorists. And ECOWAS, and I'm very excited about what Soprano said in his concluding remarks, that ECOWAS has to take bolder action in addressing the issue of terrorism in the sub-region. Because it's obvious that the national leadership, national security leadership across the individual countries are lacking in that, it's too early to use the word balls, but the courage to really make this thing. Look, in 20, I think it was 2015, 2016, at the time when, no, it was 2014, when we had Kenneth Bovelate as our national security commander. Yeah. They found a base where these Boko Haram people were training Ghanaians. They moved in there and they crushed them.
Thank you.
You see, so they didn't get the opportunity to come and grow any terrorists in this country. Currently, as it stands, we have vigilantes that they're becoming worse than terrorists for us. But I don't know what this current administration is doing in the area of fighting terrorism. We still have Western Togoland who managed to dance in the street for 4 or 5 hours in Water region without anybody doing anything till they went rampaging in police stations. But be it as it may, within the bigger context of a sub-regional issue, we have to find much more proactive solutions to nip terrorism in the bud and not allow it to grow and to be nurtured. What the Nigerian army did, I think, for once, let's give them some props. Let's congratulate them for getting their base back, because it would have been worse if the people had gained control and after 48 hours they still had control of the base. At least they had the control of the base for 24 hours. They took vehicles, they took ammunitions, and the Nigerian army was able to fight back and take back some of those ammunitions and kill
only
some of it, and then kill some terrorists. Some still managed to escape with their weapons, but I'm sure they vehicles. But they also destroyed 7 of their terrorist vehicles. So I think that on a wider scale, intelligence has to be improved. Security forces across the various countries have to network and work together and deal with these issues. We know very well, I mean, you can't tell me that these individual countries are not aware where these terrorist groups are located. You can't convince me that in this era of technology and sophisticated intelligence gathering, they can't tell us that in Chad, when you go to this particular area, this is where these guys are holding their residency. You know where all these places are. So what stops a joint military force that can go in there if the individual nations are afraid to tackle it? A joint military force goes in there and addresses the issue. In the East African region, remember the Kenyan hotel bombings? Yeah. That's unfortunately Westgate led to some of our people die. Rest in peace, Professor Owusu. What caused that was because the Kenyan government, working with other countries in the sub-region, had attacked Al-Shabaab's base. So it was a reprisal attack to Kenya. But that was because Kenya went in there as a big brother in the sub-region, leading, what's it called, this action. But if within the East African bloc, I think, within the East African bloc, they had that solidarity, more than just Kenya leading an agenda, but a regional consensus with a regional army bloc. Then that one, if there's any reprisal, it is a reprisal against all the member states that supported that operation. And so if they're able to also counter, they're able to counter with a much more heavy blow. And that will send shocks to any terrorist organization than the small operations that have been going on across this sub-region. But really, for me, the issue of terrorism is something that, as a region, we should be taking much more seriously than we're doing now.
Thank you very much. Saka Salia, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning to our challenge viewers. Kind of brief. I think that Soprano says certain things that some of us will have to dissociate ourselves. You know, his incessant attack on the Nigerian army, I think that it was uncalled for. It was as if they were unprofessional, they were weak, they did not know what they were about, and they allow a very weakling a group to be terrorizing them all over the world. I mean, if you look at some of these groups that call themselves, that associate themselves with Islam, even though in reality they are not fighting for Islam, you could see that, I mean, they don't use conventional means in their fights. This particular group, as we know, actually is part of Boko Haram, ISWAP. It's a group that actually, you know, came out of Boko Haram in 2015, in 2016, when they had problem with Shakao, the Boko Haram leader then. You know, this group, this whole terrorists, the jihadists that they call themselves, they have a mother group. Apart from Al Qaeda, they have IS.
ISIS.
No, this one IS, Islamic State.
Yeah.
Islamic State. So at a point, even Shakao, the Boko Haram leader, had pledged their loyalty to IS. So the IS is the one that normally control all these printed groups. So at a point, the Boko Haram, this particular leader, Banawi, you know, actually wrote to IS that they no longer want Shakao to be part of them, and then they allowed him to lead this group. So this is ISWAP, that is IS West Africa Province. So they are representing IS in West Africa. So they call themselves ISWAP, IS, that is Islamic State West Africa Province. And since then, they've been even more lethal, more devastating in their attack than Boko Haram. They even fought with Boko Haram and actually defeated Boko Haram and became, you know, the strongest of the two, the stronger of the two, and started terrorizing almost everybody. They operate, you know, they don't have borders. They operate in Chad, they operate in Niger, they operate in Nigeria, and even Cameroon. And this is a group that we are talking about. They seize military bases in Bonu and other places, and Baga in Chad. They did all these things, and they use all manner of, you know, guerrilla tactics in order to achieve what they do. Even at a point, I remember in 2018, you know, they themselves showed video footage where they were terrorizing Nigerian soldiers and burning them. If you have a group that can actually go and attack a military base, we are talking about Nigerian military base that they went and attacked.
That has been my point.
So they took the fight to the Nigerians, not to the common Nigerian or some group. They took the fight to the Nigerian army and actually defeated them. I mean, and they killed 7 soldiers and captured 8 soldiers. And it was the next day that the Nigerian soldiers were actually did some reinforcement and also, you know, regain control of those military bases. So you could see that, I mean, these are guys, and even when they did that, they did not just, you know, kill the soldiers and capture some. They actually took weapons and some of the Nigerian army vehicles, and they took them away. So they did a lot of things.
You see, what you are failing, what Saka is saying, does not in any way support your argument.
Never.
That the Nigerian army is unprofessional. What Saka is saying that because you can be ambushed.
Yeah, they were ambushed.
You can be ambushed.
They were ambushed.
Continuing for 5 years.
No. But you see, but you're also failing to appreciate what Gabriela stated. And of course, the first expression what Saka said, Gabriela said here that there was a time where they had actually cordoned their leader. They were just waiting for that one call, and it didn't come. Come on. You know how it operates. The president, for instance, in Ghana, if there's an issue that requires the intervention of the president would have to sanction.
Exactly.
That's why in America they don't just go to war.
Sure. You go through
the president. No, even they have some room, something room, situation or whatever. If the president, analyzes the situation and seeks guidance from the military leadership, whatever, then they issue the command, and then everything is sorted. So you don't have to blame entirely the Nigerian. And I think I agree with Sakasaka proceed.
Yeah. So I'm saying this. With the greatest respect to you, if you examine or study the Boko Haram menace, you see that they have some intelligence within
Boko Haram.
Yeah.
But the Nigerian
they also have. That is the reason why the Boko Haram has not succeeded.
They have not succeeded.
They have not. They've been able to win certain things. To incur, or to raid on innocent people, and sometimes the army base. But you see, the army base issue is about just ambushing. The people are there. They do not even know anything. And all of a sudden, these people attack them.
With respect, but what you are saying with respect, Saka, the army base, which is a security point where they store ordnance and all kinds of weapons, and they were surprised by Boko Haram. Did they not have weapons? Please, Saka, come again. But they have weapons. Army will give us opportunity.
They have weapons, but I think that that's the reason why they themselves had
some
to.
People should resign.
No. They themselves had to, do certain things to regain the control of the area. You see, it's a very murky situation. To the extent that these people can have the temerity to invade, that camp, and actually cause that mayhem, kill 7 military soldiers. Capture 8 of them, take their vehicle, took their weaponry, and this is not the first time. I'm saying that it's a cross-border thing. They've been doing that in Chad, Niger, in Cameroon, and other places. They are heavily financed by certain elements within, the Nigerian.
That's what makes it difficult to.
Yeah, that's what makes it difficult.
The individual is more well-to-do than the federal.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, what I don't get is your rigid mental set about the failure of the Nigerian army or the failure of the Nigerian security system. The World Trade Center was blasted. And this is America.
That was an instance. This has been going on
in the UK.
But do you think? No.
These are countries that are
in the system.
But these are instances.
No, there's no instances.
What you are failing to appreciate is that these attacks are planned.
They are planned.
Once it happens in America, it will happen in Germany, it will happen in here. They are planned.
Yes.
So you don't have to.
And that is the reason why I told you that if it were a conventional war, okay, the people are here. This one, they will finish them within 3 minutes. You get the point. But see, they are using some intelligence. They are using all manner of orthodox.
What I'm trying to say is that they have moles in the moles in government, and which is why they're able to operate, because people start to benefit from this.
Kwame, and therein lies the massive security failure. If the Nigerian army, with their huge $1 billion budget, cannot fish out a mole in the Nigerian army.
What am I talking about?
This has been going on for years. They go and catch small 14-year-old, 16-year-old girls.
I think that
it's unbearable for the
Nigerian emotional about it.
I think
but you don't have to be
no, you see, I think talk is cheap.
Yeah,
it is cheap.
You see, it's very cheap.
But the lives of Nigerians under the current circumstances have been cheapened. I will never accept that Nigerian citizens, little small girls, etc., should be kidnapped.
I think nobody is in support of that.
You see, nobody is in support.
The point.
The army
let's allow Saka. We need to proceed.
And even the activities of Boko Haram did not side with the current Buhari government.
Absolutely.
Even the Buhari government actually used Boko Haram.
Why are you expecting them to?
They came to power on the back of Boko Haram. They said that when they come, they will be able to fight Boko Haram. And indeed, when they came,
they tried.
They tried.
But they were suppressed.
The activities of Boko Haram actually, subsided.
Kwame, let me please.
Come on.
Let me finish.
So I think that you see, if you want to decimate some of these groups, it is not just one day. This group operates in so many ways. They have, so many elements that they use. And therefore, if you want to, finish them, you have to use the convention that they themselves, the tactics that they themselves are employing. You see, and that is the reason why nobody in his right sense will ever think that an army base will be invaded. And that is the reason why.
You see, they've been doing it.
No, you see, let me tell you, you know Adam Bona, right?
Yeah,
Adam Bona just sent a message.
Yeah.
And it says that, please let the first speaker know, militaries are not trained for these types of wars.
Exactly.
Well, then these are probably getting
these are
then.
No, but because you see, even with the American army and things like that, before they move in, right, they are very sure and very certain that this is where, for instance, Osama bin Laden is before they move in. Because if they move in like that, they'll kill them.
But even look at Osama bin Laden. Look at what he did.
Yes.
When in Afghanistan, when he went to Afghanistan, he was staying near the military base.
Absolutely.
Of the US. So they were not even thinking that Osama bin Laden that they are looking for in the world everywhere will be staying near them. And that is the reason why it took them years before they got to Osama bin Laden.
Pakistani military.
Yeah, the Pakistani military. Yes. But the US
are also people in the Pakistani military that were protecting him. That was why he was there.
So these are some of the
things. I think the bottom line is that this whole issue is bigger than how we envisage it.
Yeah.
Because the point is that on the face of the face of the situation, you might think that it's just a normal, military deficiency, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. I mean, the issue about abducting children and things that, of course, we all disagree. We all are not happy about it, right? But even with the abductions, how does it happen?
Look at even what these secessionist people are doing here. Burning SEC all over the place. So are you saying that we are also weak because we are unable to detect that they are going to burn STC back?
Those persons you are talking about and those occurrences in the Volta region, if they were to continue, successively for say 2 years, then I would strongly go and stand in front of the Flagstaff House with a placard asking President Akufo-Addo to just go back to Nima. But please, let me just say this. You see, 9/11, in America, the attack on the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
The United States itself, the CIA and the FBI said that it was a lack of interagency communication. So there was one agency that knew it, but there was a lack of interagency. So,
So per your definition, that's inefficient.
That's the US. That's the US. But that's inefficiency. I'm making a point though. You see, so then you take a look at the Nigerian situation, and you realize that the Boko Haram is not necessarily based in Nigeria, so to speak. They are operating from a gray area.
They are in Nigeria.
But they are mostly operating from a gray area, which is made up of the intersection of the borders of Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, Niger, and even Mali is also another place. Kwame, this conversation is key. Look, my position stems from the fact that the well-being of Ghana, the prosperity of Ghana, the security of Ghana is invariably, and intertwined with that of Nigeria. Trust me, if the Nigerian army, which is the front line against Boko Haram, fails, then Ghana will be overrun. So I am interested in lighting a fire under the feet of the Nigerian army. They have a responsibility to Nigeria. They have a responsibility to Africa and indeed the rest of the world to put an end to this Boko Haram nonsense. And that's why I'm saying that if they cannot, they might want to consider, allowing bounty hunters to pinpoint people and take them out for prize money. I also want to, just in conclusion, Kwame, appeal, you don't have to get rid of that outlaw zone. I want to appeal to President Vladimir Putin to intervene. I want to appeal to President Vladimir Putin of Russia to get involved. Every time President Putin gets involved, sanity prevails. Don't take my word for it. Look at Central African Republic. Look at Syria. You understand? We are talking about the lack of interagency communication. The Russian intelligence agencies are top-notch. We need to invite Russia to come and help. Yes, KGB. Don't listen to the talk of communism and Cold War and stuff. President Putin is always delivering. He stopped the terrorist activity in Chechnya. You are thinking Boko Haram is a threat. Chechnya was a massive threat to the entire Russian Republic, and President Putin, he shut it down. So the Nigerian army, it's not because of Nigeria alone I'm talking about. It's because of me and my mother. If they overrun Nigeria, Ghana is in doom. Okay. President Akufo-Addo should wake up and take action.
Abdul Rahman says Boko Haram is powerful. Let's pray they don't get to Ghana. Francis Bondinuba says they will surely be run off when the court rules. George Kofi says the problem is not the army, the problem is the government. Abdul Salam Rafai says some people in government are protecting and providing ammunition to Boko Haram, just like some people deliberately selling generators for years while they are sabotaging the NEPA. Remember when they promised President Kufuor electricity and Nigeria didn't have 12 hours light? Interesting. Very interesting one there. Right, so let's proceed and look at the other issues here. But I think it's a very important conversation. Ultimately, the security of Nigeria affects invariably the security of Ghana and vice versa. And I think that the continent ought to take some pragmatic steps to ensure that we address this menacing development of insecurity on the continent. So I agree with you. And beautiful submissions by all of you. 7 CSOs, so we're coming back to our own country to deal with our own challenges. 7 CSOs have petitioned the Speaker. They are calling for probe into military entering Parliament and also the 2020 election killings. I don't know whether the Speaker, so they can set up a committee or whatever it is to investigate these issues. But, Sagasalia, let me start with you on this subject matter. We saw what happened on the floor of Parliament. Of course, you have come out to condemn, in part, what was done by, for instance, the NDC caucus in Parliament. And of course, I think you also condemned Carlos Anque's act. Yes. But let's look at the military. I'd like to describe it as invasion of the sanctimonious president of Parliament. And I'm saying sanctimonious because we do know that these parliamentarians are not just individuals sitting there. They represent a whole constituency. So they have the support and backing of, for instance, if it is in Adjoa Safo's constituency, they have about just, over 100,000, isn't it? Yeah. 100,000 people. This area, I think about 200-something thousand people, etc., etc. So these are not just individuals sitting in Parliament. These are people representing communities, representing constituencies, right? And if we also do know our political history, we know that oftentimes when the military invade some key government, government arms, then it means that there's a coup d'etat. So for instance, the seat of government, Parliament, some key radio stations, there's a coup d'etat. Now the argument has been that I think I interviewed Minta Kando, and he intimated that no, in fact, not Minta Kando. Minta Kando said that, but also James Agaga, also intimated clearly that, listen, that was tantamount to a coup d'etat. Because then if you take over one arm of the state, that's how you described it, then you are attempting to subvert the operations of that particular institution, and therefore that equals a coup d'etat. Now, do you think that generally, right, the action so perpetrated by the military invaders was illegal, first of all, and secondly, that it was needful, and thirdly, that it equates to, or it equals, if you will, coup d'etat?
Thank you very much, Kwame. I think that several people have talked about this matter, but a lot of them have not diverted their minds to the fact that this was not an invasion, it was an intervention. If it were an invasion, I don't think that anybody would have even stopped them from doing what they were doing. And besides that, you could see, palpably, that at the time that they actually entered the house, there were pandemonium. In the course of the melee, the parliamentarians themselves lost it, and nobody was ready to listen to anything. And let me even tell you that the presence of military in parliament does not necessarily mean coup d'etat. Coup d'etat is not only a cause or effected by military. Even civilians can do coup d'etat. I remember even Kwame Nkrumah government. It was both the military and then the police. It was police cum military that overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. So does that mean that? Wait. Does that mean that anytime the police also come to parliament, is also about to do coup d'etat? So and if you look at the military function is not only about protection of the territorial integrity of the country. That is their core mandate. But they still have other functions. For instance, I mean, today if there is a disaster, the military is called upon to come and help to rescue people. It's part of their functions. If there is something that demands a youthful exuberance, the military is called upon to help in that regard. Indeed, if you look at even the elections that they just ended elections, the military were parts of the election security task force. And the task force were to ensure that we have free and fair elections. And what happened in parliament is in furtherance of that objective of ensuring that we have free and fair elections. Now, there was a problem in parliament, and even before the problem, the NDC, sometimes is so ironical that people who were singing war songs, people who were singing revolutionary songs, I saw you put those songs on Facebook. Yeah, revolution has come to stay, and all those things. Come on. So this is a revolutionary song. And those revolutionary days, it was the military that was in charge. Military that was in charge. And the same military want to be in charge of the day of ensuring, that peace prevail. And then you say that is coup d'etat.
Now, at what point did they sing the song?
The beginning. Wait. They sang those songs even before the military even came there.
No.
Oh, what do you know?
No.
I'm telling you.
Those songs were sung when the military was.
Never.
It's true.
Never.
It's true. They sang it to them when they were entering the place.
Yeah.
No,
what's the video actually?
Those songs were sung long before.
And look for the video.
Long before the military intervention.
And look for the videos for.
And the military did not come there shooting. They did not come there doing things untoward. They came to ensure that there is a peaceful atmosphere for the business of the day to take place. So why all of a sudden? Why the phobia for the military? Why do we try to give the military a bad name, as if they are a group that should not even come near at all? And you see, somebody was telling us when we were talking about the Boko Haram and the military team, and the person, I think Soprano, that they should move with the changing times, the mindset, the strategies, and all that. I think that as a nation, you see, we are no longer in those days where almost invariably, there were military interventions there were fights between countries and all those things. If you have a military that is dormant because of the changing times, and then you think that you can have other functions, for them. Because look, I'm sure thousands and thousands of military, if not the entire military that we have now, they have never known what war is.
That's true.
And it means that you employ people, a group of people, thousands and thousands of group of people, they will be there for 30 years of their service or 25 years of their service. And they have not done anything for the nation. But at least, as their core functions of protecting the integrity of our nation, you can still have work for them to be doing. And what they did in Parliament was just ensure that peace prevailed. And somebody did that command. Somebody will say that, they are other, what's the name of the people in charge of security in Parliament?
Marshals.
Yeah, they are marshals and all that. Marshals, yeah. But you could see that the marshals were overpowered. They were overpowered. I saw the NDC macho men, parading as MPs, they held some of the marshals and threw them away. So the video is there for everybody to see. The video is there for everybody to see. I saw some of the parliamentary service workers being molested and and treated in a manner that is not befitting of that office. And now a military that has the power to ensure sanity were asked to come there, and then all of a sudden hell broke loose. That why do you bring military in the House of Parliament? As if the military came there to overtake the Constitution. They never did that. They never took. They never subverted the Constitution. They actually came to ensure that the constitutional imperative is upheld. Is upheld. So I don't get it when people want to create and extend the whole thing to absurdity. That the mere presence of the military in that House of Parliament means that their objective was to come and overthrow the Constitution.
But who gave the order?
It doesn't matter. And I'm not sure. It does matter. Whoever gave the order. That is the problem.
With the greatest of respect to you, Saka.
Yes.
At the time we had no president. At the time we had no ministers. At the time, all that we had was the military, the judiciary, and that was it.
So we didn't have army commander.
That's one of the problems. That's the military. So the commander was chief of defense or whatever it is.
Yes.
Right? At the time they were there. So the point is that if we had no president, if we had no parliament, so to speak, right? We had no.
Who said that we didn't have president?
We didn't have at the time. We didn't have.
Who told you that?
Oh, but did you have president at the time?
Yeah, we had the president.
We didn't have it. The president didn't have the
We had. So what we were in charge of the nation.
Yeah, but what it means is that the chief justice would act. Yeah. Right. But the point. So was it the chief justice that gave the order?
So that is the reason why I'm saying that whoever gave the order is immaterial.
It is very
listen.
Because if it is not, hold on.
Okay.
Because if it is not the chief justice who gave the order, and it was the chief of defense staff who gave the order for the military to invade the precinct of parliament, it means that.
Why do you use the word invasion?
But what is that?
Is it the precinct of parliament? So if the police also go there,
that is the police. The police. The police were there. They called the military.
If the police were there and then they were overpowered. By who? But we saw the video.
Oh, come on.
Oh, don't say come on. We saw the video.
And then we have the video.
We saw them. I mean, just throwing them like a piece of rag. Yes.
So you are protecting the police.
I'm telling you.
You, with the MPP, you are protecting the police.
Why? MPP protecting what? So I'm saying, you see, no matter how you want to extend this thing and let it look some way, see, that I also have a problem. I have a problem because I don't see this thing to be illegal. I don't see it to be illegal in the sense like what I explained to you. That one, their intention was noble. They did not come.
Even in law, it's difficult to define somebody's intention.
Yeah, but based on what happened, you can easily, based on what about security.
You would have known maybe the action of the MDC was able to clear them.
What action? What?
So why is the police in all of this?
Oh, but we are only showing one aspect of.
No. Why is the police? With the time they walked in.
Easy.
What this video? And this was the time they were taking
show where they were kicking the ballot boxes.
This was the time they were singing the revolutionary songs.
Yes. So show where they were picking the ballot boxes.
But then we have these videos. Why are you using somebody?
Don't show this one. This is mild.
Pan Africa has all these videos. Why are we using another media?
Show where they were kicking the ballot boxes.
I'm saying no. We're talking about.
Yes. Where they were throwing soldiers about.
That was what I'm saying. Where they were kicking the. No. Let me tell you. Where they were. No. You see, where. Let me explain. So I am saying that. Oh, why can't you listen to me? I was saying that where they were kicking the ballot box. That is when they were throwing the soldiers too. They threw those soldiers. They threw them away, and then started kicking the ballot boxes. And that's the reason why I'm saying that they should show us where the ballot boxes were kicked. It was around that time. So around
that time that what happened?
So around the time they were kicking the ballot boxes and doing all manner of things, that was when they were throwing the marshals away. And if you are throwing police and throwing marshals away, and then the military comes there, after you had even invited them by singing their song, by letting everybody know that, I mean, revolution is one of the best things.
The songs were sung when the military walked in. Don't distort the facts.
No,
do not distort the facts.
They sing this song. Even, let me tell you, the NDC, they're fond of singing this song all the time. You remember even when they went to Tachima South and all that?
Why is there a problem?
I saw them singing this song and
saying that.
So this song, they came prepared to come and sing this song.
In Parliament, they only sang the song. They sang the song when the military walked in.
It is not true. This song was sung long before the military came there.
They sang the song after they even sang the national anthem.
And I'm telling you that it is not true.
No, Saka.
It's not true. Kwame, I'm saying, let's not stretch this whole thing.
We need to stretch it because
there was no military invasion. There was a military intervention to sanitize the Ogal scenes.
Okay, under whose command?
Under the command of the military, who gave them the authority? I'm saying that the military top hierarchy. The military. You see, listen. The military does not. No, you see. Act. Oh, please. I don't think that you sitting here can go there and command.
That's the whole point.
So listen then.
Listen.
At the time, listen.
I'm saying what the team does.
So listen.
Authorize the military.
So listen now. You cannot command the military. No non-entity can command the military. The military take command from their high commands. You understand me? So I mean, if the thing is not unlawful,
you know, it's strange that you are supposed.
I would have wished that. I would have wished that somebody from the military comes.
Watch this video.
What is wrong?
How come the NPP?
So what is wrong with this military people? Look at them. I mean,
see how come they are just sitting there?
Very peaceful.
Why so?
And we are saying that this is a coup d'etat. How can this be a coup d'etat?
Why so?
Thank you.
Look at how peaceful they are. Parliamentarians were more rowdy. They were more rowdy than the military people.
You know the funniest thing.
How can this?
You know the funniest thing. There's always a saying that if the ball is in your court, you determine how it is played.
The aggressors here were the MPs.
But when it is in the other court,
they were the aggressors.
The other people will determine how it is played. Let's hope that in the future, when some of these things happen, you won't sit here.
Did they come to beat people?
You won't sit here and be criticized.
Did they come to beat people or shoot people?
So, of course, for records keeping are very, very important. So we'll keep records here. But thank you very much for your delivery, Saka. And I hope I didn't interject much.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. The intervention was okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me now come to you, Gabriela, and then I'll come to Soprano.
Yes, thank you very much, Kwame. In fact, I'll be patiently waiting. Kwame, you remember very well that on the eve of the swearing-in, the NPP, acting through what's that guy's name, lawyer Nimako, Gary Nimako, and some other gentleman, had gone to the Cape Coast High Court to seek an injunction on a member of the NDC caucus, the parliamentary, the member of parliament for Assin North. Going into this swearing-in, the NDC had picked intelligence that the NPP caucus in parliament was going to raise issues to have a member of parliament dismissed from Parliament House so that he doesn't get the opportunity to be sworn in like all his fellow parliamentarians who have won the mandate of their people to represent them.
But there was an injunction.
When they went into the house, first of all, it was what's happening Market's title now? Chief Whip, minority leader, deputy leader for the MPP, deputy leader for the MPP, Afeno Markin, was the first to ask the acting speaker whether he was aware of any such court injunction. And the MPP, you could tell from all intents and purposes that there was a deliberate plan to exit one member from the NDC side, so that in the election of the speaker, they can get the numbers. All this brouhaha stemmed from that act of trying to force a member of parliament, a duly elected member of parliament, out of the house without going through proper procedure on getting the man served. The man hasn't even been sworn in as MP. Then there was a second issue about the voting, where in the standing orders of parliament and in the constitution, it is written that voting in the house shall be by secret ballot unless there are certain other considerations where they go the and they don't know to give proclamation on whatever they are going to vote on. For the first time, to elect a speaker of parliament, the NPP side wanted to make it open ballot for everybody to see who you are voting for. How is this even necessary? For you to even want to introduce this new voting pattern, this new voting, let me make my point. You are comfortable already. What's the point in introducing this new voting mechanism? Never been done before. And then when your parliament, when your MP first to cast his vote, went and showcased it, and our side said, this is not done. It's against standing orders. It's against constitution. It's unparliamentary. So the election cannot come on. You take offense. Why so? Was it not the NDC side that was protecting the democracy of this country at the time? But is it not written in the constitution? Is it not written in the constitution? If today you pick Quran, and Quran says that you have to pray 5 times, and you tell people to pray 5 times, are you not upholding the tenets of your Quran? Now,
the one just keep going.
Then, on that night, the NDC was protecting the tenets of this constitution. When we refused to let the voting go on, unless they change the voting pattern, NPP says, why should that be the case? Why shouldn't that be the case? Then, when they couldn't make headway again, then they come and now force, what's it called?
Carlos.
Not Carlos. The security, the military and the police.
Okay.
To now come and control an agitated NDC side. From
both sides.
Did you see how calm NPP people were?
They were calm because they are calmer than the NDC.
2 groups of people have met in an arena. We are having a disagreement. All of a sudden, when you saw the police and the military, knowing very well that they are coming to do your bidding, you decided to pull back and let the police and the military now confront NDC.
Yeah, because they were the aggressors.
That act alone is reprehensible. It is a blotch on our democracy. It should never have happened. Whoever authorized the military, there's nothing wrong with offering military protection around the premises of Parliament House on the day.
Tell them.
On the day, I am telling them, and I'm telling
tell
you.
Kwame too.
And I'm telling you.
Kwame, she said there's nothing wrong.
On the premises. On the premises.
The premises is part of Parliament.
But when they enter the chamber.
Oh, please.
There's a difference, so.
No.
But it's like when you send the military to offer protection around Flagstaff House. That is different from when you let the military enter Flagstaff House unauthorized.
Oh, if they enter the, how do you know that it was unauthorized?
Do you now accept that what happened on the floor of the chamber is now authorized?
It's authorized.
By who?
By the person who brought them there.
Who brought them there?
The military command.
Which military command?
The one in charge.
Who authorized the military command? The point is that it is police officers who manhandled.
And when the police officers were being manhandled,
nobody was manhandled. No police officers.
Did you see the video?
No.
You will see.
In a democracy, in a functional democracy, every time you see, as for parliamentarians who are fighting, you see it across the world all the time. Some people throw
so allow them to kill themselves.
The speaker stick and all that.
It's happening all the time.
They beat themselves up and they settle.
You mean the miss?
The miss. They beat themselves with all kinds of things and they settle. But at no point do you have a military intervention walking in. Because that alone speaks volume. And anytime such an act happens, it is tantamount to mutiny.
Yeah.
You were just thankful that no adventurous security officer saw the opportunity to go and sit on the speaker's chair that day and make his own pronouncements over this country. That event should not have happened. And whoever from the NPP side, because it is so obvious that it was your side that authorized this. The way your people were so calm and just sitting there watching.
One is preparing to fire.
It was just unfortunate. And whoever authorized by a phone call, I've heard that it was the former Minister for Defense and the former Minister for Interior who forgot that their mandate had expired. Who went and called these two security people
but I also blame the
into the chamber
people for listening to them. Because
no, you see, sometimes ignorance, unfortunately, is bliss. They didn't know. And especially when it comes to some of these nuances in our democratic dispensation, some of these principles is just lost on them. You remember about 3 weeks ago when the minority then went on a walk to present a petition to Jim Mensah.
Yeah.
The security said they didn't seek police.
Yeah, they did not.
Whatever, and so they are holding them for
contempt.
Against the Public Order Act or something like that. And then they went and summoned them before court at a time when the Parliament itself was sitting. If they knew very well that at the time they had called the court, Parliament was sitting, and it's against the Constitution to summon a member of Parliament at such a time, they wouldn't have embarrassed themselves like that. A lot of these things they just don't know. So if they are called that they're supposed to come and fix a problem, they are not aware that where they are going is sacrilege. It just shouldn't have happened. Simple. But it also, Kwame, it also goes to speak to something that the NDC has been talking about since we went for the elections.
What have you been talking about?
The very machinations and gerrymandering and orchestrations that happened on election day. That was exactly what came to play out on the floor of Parliament on January the 7th.
So you were very aggressive on the day of elections.
Because we have seen,
very aggressive in Parliament.
Because we have seen what you did on the day of the elections with the police in our police.
So the way you were kicking everybody, that is what you did in the elections.
We saw how you people were snatching ballot boxes. And in fact, your member of Parliament excitedly went to his own constituents to go and tell them why he had to take that decision to go stealing ballot papers and running off with it. I saw a video of Dr. Marzouk calling my dear friend Carlos the attire of Parliament. Oh, I felt so sad. I said, Carlos, how can you reduce yourself to this level? If anybody, he's been my friend for a long time.
You are an accomplice.
Carlos, please, if any NPP person is watching it, you know Carlos, please tell him that Gabriela sat here and said, I beg him, he should stop.
Okay,
and he's disgracing all of us.
Thank you, Gabby. Carol, please tell Saka to tell the truth at least once a year. This is so funny. Good morning to you, Kwame. Please tell my brother Saka that he should stop defending the political party and rather defend the country, unless he wants to tell me with the viewers that he does not know the constitution of our country. Mohammed Masamba from Wulensi. Good morning to you, Kwame. Please tell my brother Mujib. Hey, who's Mujib? That's not Mujib, my brother. Good morning to you, Kwame. Okay, I told you that if you send insulting messages, I won't read them. Good morning to you, Kwame. Kindly stop Saka from coming. Hi, good morning. I would like to know if you telecast to any election petition, the people of Atibokwa to feel it. Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. There will be live telecast, yeah. There will be live telecast. I think it's today, right?
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday, so yeah, we'll bring it. Good morning to Kerry. The MPP man slept and cannot tell the truth. Emma from Danfa.
So what is it? Tell us the truth. You just... he should tell us the truth. If what I'm saying is not.
All right. The messages are plenty. I don't even know which one to read. Which one? My name is Bong Mensa Kweku. The Nigerian army isn't weak. The challenge is that they are fighting insurgents, their own brothers in plain clothes. Difficult to differentiate them from innocent civilians. The Boko Haram is fighting guerrilla war. They strike and relocate. It's very difficult to locate them in the jungle. The first man in jungle is always a winner. It appears people are really interested in this Boko Haram issue. The Chief Justice knew the implications of the invasion of the soldiers in the House of Parliament. That is why he ran away. Kujo, the Chemahafu region, sent in this one. Right, so let me come to you, Soprano. Okay, wait.
I just want to make one final.
I'll give it to you,
Kwame, you know, Saka mentioned that our military don't know war. That is why they are trying to find something for them to do. Our military, even though we've not had any war, thankfully, they've done very well with peacekeeping operations across the world. Yeah. The problem we have now is that we've had so many people who have now been recruited into the military by this administration, and they don't know what to do with those ones because they don't even fit the standards of going to peacekeeping.
Well, let me give you 2 minutes and then I'll wrap up because we need to pick the feed from the Supreme Court election petition.
I'll get straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
You see, I'm usually very careful about how we talk about our prestigious Ghana armed forces. Hold on, let me land. You see, the Ghana Armed Forces is in a class of its own. The Ghana Armed Forces is Africa's premier force. According to the UN Secretary General past, I think the gentleman from South Korea, yes, and he talked about the fact that whenever there's any case going on anywhere around the world, that the Ghana Armed Forces is their first point of call. And so Ghana's army, we are an international army. So if you're a Ghanaian, if you're a Ghanaian in the army, you're lucky. So Kwame, I'm very careful how I go on about it, but a terrible precedent was set. Kwame, and I want to say that the precedent that was set under the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo is a Dankwa-Buzia behavior. This is not the first time that the MPP type of people, the Dankwa-Buzia people, have been behaving like this with our military. You understand? Remember, Dr. Buzia, he was very good friends with General Efrifa and General Kotoka, the coup d'etat peoples. Okay. You understand? I have pictures.
I understand that. I understand that we need to go to. But it just
in a sentence. I feel like wow, I had so much to say to Ghanaians. All that I'm saying is that bringing the military into our parliamentary business is a very dicey thing to be doing, because when you compare military leadership, say the 19 years of the PNDC to the 30 years of democracy that we've had, then you would agree with me that President Rawlings and the PNDC members, including Dr. Kwesi Botwe, who broke the industrial backbone of Ghana, and Professor Kwame Nkrumah and his assets confiscation, all those people, what I'm saying is that 19 years compared to 30 years of democracy, and you see that Ghana and the sub-region, democracy has been good to us.
Thank you. And next week I need to go. So keep this. But we need to go to the Supreme Court right now, where the election petition is currently underway. Thank you very much. Thank you, Saka. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you, Soprano. Let's now go to the Supreme Court now and bring you live feed from what is happening at the Supreme Court now.
Saka, you set me up. Saka,
It's incredible! Bang on target!
Welcome to Ridge Royal Hotel in the